This is the $180 Seder Challenger in miniature. The longer one takes 30 minutes and you'll have much more detail. Basically, you should challenge your children or any other guests that there are. Can they find the explicit answer to why we dip twice? The answer for the matzah, the morah, and even the leaning are contained in Rebbe Gamliel's words towards the very end of the telling of the story. The reason of matzah is given, morah is given, and the Passover sacrifice used to have to be eaten leaning, and we don't eat it anymore, but we still do some things leaning, and so that really goes with Pesach. But the answer for why we dip twice doesn't seem to be there. However, the karpas is there to initiate a question from a young child who's used to making motzi after Kiddush. And he's a child who knows how to ask, even if he's 3. The son who doesn't know how to ask, doesn't even know how to do that, even though he might be old and wise, isn't wise in Judaism, and he doesn't realize that karpas is meaningful. So you have to say to him, I left Egypt. Say it like you mean it, literally, even if you act crazy. Like the verse says over there, that I left Egypt. And that's kind of like heads and tails. One son knows to ask, one doesn't know to ask, but they both have to ask. And then it'll be meaningful. And then look for the place in the Haggadah, most likely, reason one, to where the answer for why we dip twice should be. And that would be where the other 3 of the 4 questions are answered, matzah, morah, and leaning, which is contained within the Passover sacrifice. And once you have that, look for the idea that the reason we want them to ask is so that they're interested. When they're interested, they care. And when they care, they'll feel like they left. And that's the paragraph that follows immediately the explanation of those 3 things that says we're obligated to believe that we personally left Egypt. And if that's not enough, you'll see that the same verse that's meant to prove that you have to make them ask for the child who doesn't know how to ask, by saying, I left Egypt, is used to say we're obligated to feel that we personally left Egypt. And the fact that one verse is proving the 2 different things is because those 2 things are really the same thing. Make them ask, and they'll feel like they personally left Egypt. And so the very last paragraph, as the Haggadah ends, right before that beginning of Hallel that's at the end of the telling of the story, is the paragraph that's the answer to why we dip twice. But I promise you, they won't ever find it. Offer $180. Tell them they have to find it while you're reading it the whole time. They can't go ahead. They can't go backwards. They can't find it in a comment, a footnote, or anywhere else. Only when you read it, and they'll listen, and they won't find it, but they'll listen to the whole Haggadah. Have a great Pesach.